Welcome to a demonstration of the profitability segment of Viewpoint, the Decision Analytics Group Business Intelligence and Analytics platform. We'll start first with a quick look at the layout of the Profitability home screen, showing certain year-over-year comparative key metrics for the period selected. These include, as you can see, billable hours and value, billings per attorney, collections, realization, leverage, attorney productivity, and average billing rate, in this view at a firm level. Accompanying this is a statement of profitability. In this case, we're looking at accrual profitability based on billings, an approach which is intended to mitigate the impact of the timing of cash basis collections and disbursements. It also employs cost allocation methodologies based on this firm's preferences. Firms, for example, may choose their own cost allocation methodologies depending on the type of cost. For instance, occupancy expense may be allocated using a different methodology than, say, business development expenses. Note that there are no impediments in the platform to cost allocation methodologies that are determined to be uniquely appropriate to each firm. The statement presents operating results down to income distributable to partners, including as well a calculation of the highly meaningful to many firms average profits per partner. Moving on, let me show you the dynamic associations that are intrinsic to the application, allowing multiple views of profitability, whether at office, department, or practice group, client, or matter level, and even at the individual partner level, or any combination of these dimensions. Let's look at the Chicago office of this firm. Clicking on Chicago, everything in the application is now filtered to show only the collective results of the Chicago office. You can see that for the period selected, January through May, the office generated, based on billings and related accrual expenses, distributable income of $3.1 million and an annualized profit per partner of a bit over $1.5 million. That, of course, is substantially better than the firm average of just $1 million that we saw before. Taking a quick look at the metrics for the office, it's easy to see why. Realization, leverage, and attorney productivity are all higher than the firm average, in some cases by quite a bit, as are billings per attorney. The question this raises is which practice areas are helping to drive these economics? Let's take a look at the intellectual properties practice area, again in only the Chicago office. This practice is performing even more strongly than the office as a whole, with average profits per partner in excess of $2 million. Here, the metrics make it clear why. While realization is not as high as the office overall, billings per attorney is higher, driven by the better leverage and high attorney productivity. Looking more closely at the associate to partner leverage numbers, though, which is based on their respective billing hours, brings to mind another question. Why is it so high, particularly the extraordinarily high leverage last year? Is this a mistake? Drilling down further, we see that last year the intellectual property associates billed nearly 5,500 hours, while the partners only 92. If nothing else, this certainly raises a question for management about the adequacy of responsible partner oversight. Returning to our model, let's turn now to client profitability. We'll select TF Pharmaceuticals. All of the data in the system is now reflective of the activity of that client over the period selected. Looking across the firm, we can see that on billings of $3.3 million, this client has, when collected, bottom line income of $1.5 million and average profits per partner of $1.755 million. Again, higher than the firm average. How? Look at the extraordinarily high billings per attorney fueled by exceptionally high realization, leverage, and attorney productivity relative to what we saw at the firm average. The other side of the coin is client pay more insurance, generating well under the firm average in terms of average profits per partner, as well as substantially worse than last year for the same client. Notwithstanding higher realization, we see very little associate participation and quite poor attorney productivity numbers this year as compared with last. The high average billing rate and the high billings per attorney numbers are explained by the fact that it is substantially partner time. All factors have as their outcome unsatisfactory per partner profitability. Let's now look at individual partner responsible profitability and see how one or two are doing as compared to the collective partnership as a whole. Take partner Chen, somewhat below average in profitability, primarily the result of low realization. Along with the positive performance in other metrics, however, a focus on boosting realization a bit will result in a more on-target bottom line result. Picking one more partner, Alan Greenfield, we see once again how the metrics align with the results we would expect. Better leverage on his matters than the firm as a whole, better realization, and similar attorney productivity to the overall firm result in better revenue per attorney and, as would be expected, higher profitability. The question now arises, what is the impact individually of each of these important drivers on the firm, on profitability? For this, let's take a look at some what-if scenarios. Here we have a view of many of the same metrics we've been looking at, but this time with the ability to interact and determine the impact of changes. What-if scenarios for important metrics like billing rates, realization, billable hours, or attorney leverage as examples. See, for instance, the impact of changes to billing rates. In this case, let's assume an increase of 3% for this firm, all other things being equal. A 3% increase in billing rates results in a higher billable production value, higher billings, correspondingly higher income to partners, and also higher average profits per partner. Coupling this likewise with an increase in realization by just 1.5 percentage points gives you a picture of the two changes together. Add better leverage, and we can see that the shortfall from last year in per partner profitability would be virtually erased. Now take a look at what increasing attorney productivity by itself does to the bottom line. Again, adjusting all the other factors to remain the same. The same what-if scenario can be applied to every dimension, whether office, practice group or department, client, or individual partner. While not only informative, this is a great tool for educating the firm's revenue producers about the impact that their actions have on the firm and on its financial underpinnings. On that point, as a final step in our overview, let's take a look at one partner as an example. We select partner Moderno, whose numbers as responsible partner we see are significantly dilutive to partner profitability. Drilling down and taking a closer look at a client level, we can see two clients whose production is dramatically changed adversely year over year, but not fully offset by increases elsewhere. Attorney billable hours mirror the same adverse trend, and as do billings, even more dramatically. Likewise, the same with collections. A dramatic decrease year over year. Looking further, we see subpar realization at only 60%. Digging even deeper, it's clear that with associate realization at only 34%, most associate time is obviously being written off. Given that, perhaps it's good that he uses associates so sparingly, as indicated by the very low leverage that you can see in this view. With respect to attorney productivity, it's also clear that this partner's own billable hours are not anywhere near where they should be. So as you have seen, what we have learned here in just a matter of a few minutes provides real insight and a basis for a meaningful, factually grounded discussion with an individual partner that would ideally lead to a plan of corrective action. This, along with all of the other insights we have just demonstrated, give you just a taste of the power of viewpoint, the Decision Analytics Group Business Intelligence and Analytics platform. Thank you for watching.